Hi there, Valerie Shodine here, and welcome to Plan With Me 2021, where I combine the comforts of home with art journaling and planning in my planner journal. Welcome to May. This month, I'm recreating beauty by celebrating the extravagant beauty of flowers in my journal. If you want to see how I painted this page, check out the other Plan With Me 2021 video for May. In part 1 of May's Plan With Me tutorial, I go over how to paint this monthly calendar page. In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint one of my favorite pages, which is the gratitude page, and then 2 workflow pages, which are actually adaptable to anything you want to use them for, and then the weekly calendar pages. I'm excited to show you. Let's get started. I'm going to start my gratitude page, one of my favorites, just like I've done it in the past, and that is I've used my stencil here. I could just write it, but this keeps it really consistent from month to month, and then I'm going over it with a 0.8 size pen. And now I'm ready for paint and washi tape. I think I'm going to use that on this time. And I am going to use this stencil from Stencil Girl Products. To get ready for that, I'm going to activate with water, like you've seen me do if you've watched these before, and use some of this white gold. That is such a beautiful color, but I need to wait just a moment for that to activate. Okay, I have my cosmetic sponge here. I'm just going to rub it around here and then just do the corners and part of the tops. Just put 1 or 2 in a little more so it doesn't look so much like a straight line there. I'm going to call that good for a background. In fact, I like it so well, I'll probably use it on my workflow pages. For this page, I'm going to practice some flowers with watercolor, and then we'll see if I would like to add pen or not. But I do want to use some washi tape. So it just worked out when I checked this that I have most of the colors out here, but there's one color I want to add, and that is teal. So I will add that to my palette and use the other ones as well from my previous pages. And I need to activate some of these colors like teal, and I'll warm up, I think, with my smallest brush, which is the number 2, and do some lavender. Lavender can be really easy to do, although I think I want to make sure the sprigs go a certain way. So like that. So I want to do 2, and then it's kind of a lot of water I have there. I've mixed some cerulean and magenta for this. It's a little bit dull, but I can go back for a second coat and add more. But just these little splotches of color will make it look like a lavender sprig. Like I said, I can go back in with a second coat, but I want that to dry. So then I'll go in with some of my green and make the stem and a little ways through here, so that it really does look like a lavender sprig there. I'm just going to put like little sprigs mostly on this side because this is going to be my gratitude list here. Okay. So I just set my brush down. I don't want them all just face front like that, so I'm doing some that will look like it's going to the side a bit more. I'll add some magenta here. Have some already, but I'm going to go with the smaller brush on this. gonna go up and paint a rosebud. This seems kind of lonely up here, so I'm just gonna put some little abstract flower shapes there. Let that dry and then go back in. Okay, how about a daisy? I'm gonna try here a kind of white daisy. So I'm gonna make a grayish color. You can see I have there. And I think it'd be wise for me to start with a center. So I am gonna start with a center here. And then it's kind of tricky because it's white, so that's kind of a dark. Yeah, this is not turning out quite how I had hoped, but I can go in with a white pen. Now that is just so flat on daisy. This is probably where I'm not pleased at all with this, but let's see what I can do to maybe draw the attention away from it being like it is. I think down here might be a good spot, and then just put like one that's starting up there. Okay, let's try this again, and I'm going to try it with a smaller brush. I can already tell that the smaller brush is better, and it's what I should have gone in with that. I want another rose right here. Small enough. Okay, I am going to go in with pen, kind of like I did here. And I'm going to use a small pen, either 01 or 005. I found this one first, so this will do. And going to go in, I could do some of this with paint, but I'm just going to go around with pen. and make it pretty loose. Okay, that's still a little bit wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see, well, how about some washi tape? How would that look on here? Now, if it doesn't look good, I just won't include it, but I'm going to test and see. Just some little pieces here and there. I think I want to put another flower there. How about yellow? I haven't done a yellow one. Let's do that. Let's go back up here. Okay, I have other washi tapes. I'm just going to add some. I mean, I wouldn't have to. If you like a simpler look, I think this looks great. But I just want to try something different. And I want to use some of my washi tape. So I'll cut different tapes. I have a little bag of tapes here and see what I can use. Okay, I've snipped little pieces of washi tape. Now they tend to come up a little bit, but it's in my book, so I don't mind here. Here's basically what I use. So I tried to stick close to the color palette that I have on my paint palette here. And so I think they kind of blend in well. I am going to look for a quote to put in here. So the next time you see this, it may have a quote written on there as well. But I'm pretty happy with it. And it does give me some ideas if I ever want to figure out what flower I want to put on. There's some flowers to choose from here, as well as the other pages I've done. So now I'm going to go on to the workflow pages. Activating my watercolors with water. And I have already some gold on that sponge, but it's dried, so I'm going to activate that too. Maybe I can pick some of it up. So I'm going to kind of work back and forth on these two pages, and I do want to include some washi tape. So I'm going to paint flowers that match my washi tape. I don't know where I got this from. I think it was my very first roll of washi tape. So I apologize for that, not being able to give you a link, but there's lots of nice washi tape out there. So I'm just going to take just handmade stencil that I've done here and put some gold on it. Let that dry, and then do the same thing on this side. Maybe I'll just put something in there. Put this here. I think I can just put that there. And I'm going to write on top of these and doodle around them a little bit. I think I'm going to do a combination of lowercase and uppercase. Like that. Go in with my probably number 5 to start with, I think, here. Then I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller one with the 3 and thicken up some of the lines here. I'm noticing the ink doesn't take quite as well, and I'm sure it's because of the watercolor sitting on top of the paper. So next time I may want to do that first. Okay, erase this here. I center it about there, in between those rows of dots. And then I am going to extend with some gold from this line, the edge here. I could use my ruler, but I'm going to try and drag my hand down. That's the easiest way to get a straight line. To get started, I'm going to go in, kind of get my feet wet. There's a yellow center. So I'm just going to put the yellow centers in first as a warm-up for me. And then there's this other color here I could put in now, which is, I'm using Cobalt Teal. And I don't want it quite smooth, maybe a little like dots. And knowing me, I'll go back in with some pen when I'm done. Okay. Now let's start with the red. So red, yellow, and magenta. There's mostly red. I can mix it a little bit like that with my brush, drag it down. It's best to try doing few strokes as possible. I'm trying to do that here, but it's a challenge. Okay, that's dried. It's not bled through. I think I can put another layer on. This time going in with some yellow, and then I'll follow up with more red. What I'm going to do though, instead of adding black pen, I'm going to add some of the white pen. So go in with my Posca pen and do some outlining. There's a lot of white in the background here, so I think that just to even do a little bit of white scribbling around, kind of loosely, lighten and whiten it up. Okay, I'm going to put some tape here. I'm going to cut that out. It's the nice part about washi tape, it's repositional. Hopefully I can see where I drew. It should be close enough. I'll probably add some of this here along the edge with my sponge. I still have some of this a little bit wet. I'll do a little bit of erasing, but I'm going to call this page good, let it dry, and move on to the next one. Now I'm going to do the same thing for this workflow page that I did on this page, and that is paint flowers that go with this washi tape and put my letters in here. Oh, that was not dry. So let's go in with that and do a little bit of touch up. And then I'll go in with some white. It needs to be dry, so wait a moment for that. This page is done and ready to work. Now on to my calendar pages. May starts on a Saturday, so it creates a bit of a challenge for me on the layout, but I think I worked it out here. And I'm going to start with putting the stencil of May kind of in the center. I think taping is a good idea for this. And in fact, I'm going to tape here, here. And I'm going to keep the gold on my sponge, but I am going to add some magenta, kind of reddish. Haven't used that color. Well, I hardly ever use it. Too much water. There, that's good. There. Okay, and I can go in with a little bit of the magenta, the gold if I want to, and just do this. Okay, there we go. I have this space here, and I'm going to put notes and use this stencil to just put it there, and this whole space will be used for that. If you're still with me on this, congratulations. You have reached nearly the end. This video has been way longer than I had planned. What I want to explain here is the layout of these weekly calendar pages. You can see that there's 1 week per side of the page, and to maximize the space on that, plus give some notes, I've made the dots, the spaces for each day horizontally, 10 dots wide and then 14 dots high. So the first line would go on the first dot, and then the next line would go on the 10th dot, and so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to finish up this page with this rose, painting the rose, which I've done in other videos for this month, and then go in and outline it as you see finished here, along with some of the stenciling. To keep up with the layout and the style, the second page is very different because both weeks fit on the page, and I've made my notes section right in the middle there. And I really like how that design turned out with that central focus there for notes. We'll see if I write in there or not. Even if I don't, I think it looks good like that. Then there's the last page. Monday is the last day of May, and that was a little bit awkward too, so I just put it down on the one side of the page with a little bit of lavender sprig in the middle to separate the full week from the one day that ends May. And then on the other side, you see I've done a loose painting and drawing of lavender along with some of the stenciling. So I can go on with my pages and on with flowers, but it must come to an end. So thank you for joining me for this May Plan with Me. If you'd like to find out more and get inspired each month, visit my blog and website at ValerieShodine.com.